Let's see. Yeah, all right. Here we go. Here we go. Let's check it out here. Everything seems to be running online and online and online. Yeah, buddy. Ho, 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 ho. Boom. Well, thanks, Donna. Thanks for sharing the show. That's very nice of you. Boom. There we go. All right. Everything's online, back on through. Hey, Nicole. Good to see you. Brian. Nice, nice. So much going on today. So much going on. There's so many things to talk about. I've got so many stories. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Richard. Good to see you. Oh, man. Let me see. Okay. Yes. Oh. Let's see. Okay, so we got about 2 minutes before the show starts. Everything's kind of going through here, guys. If you haven't seen it, go to What I Learned Today Facebook page. What is it? Yeah, it's the What I Learned Today Facebook page. Lori D posted up an elf me thing with all the Mojo guys in it. Somehow I'm also included, which is great. But I mean, like, she just took a random photo of me. But it's hilarious. So the elf yourself stuff. Go look at it later. It's very funny. Man, okay. Let's see. Yeah, we got, oh, goodness. We've got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Oh, all of these other people. We got a vegan family. Yay. So many things. So many wonderful, wonderful things. All right, well, we'll be getting the show started here in just a second here. You know. Hey, Elijah. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in with us, buddy. By the way, if you guys do have any comments, questions, concerns, or anything like that, you can leave it on the Facebook page. You can send it to me directly. Any of those things. Here, there, everywhere. Not a big idea. Not a big problem. Or you can go to Twitter, and on the Twitters, it's at DOA Show. You can tweet at us. Use the hashtag, I see what you did there. Because you did. And so do I. Okay. All right. I'm going to go radio silent, and I will be back with you guys here in just a few seconds. Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Defenders of American Exceptionalism, soon to be Defenders Live. Man, we are packed in. We've got tons of stories to go over. The guys haven't been on the shows or anything like that because of all the Christmas breaks and everything else. So I've been kind of one of the few live guys, and it's great. It's hilarious at the same time. But couple quick reminders. Want to let a couple things go on. January 7th, the show is going daily. We will have a daily show on the 7th. Elijah, thank you for that. I love that you love the show, especially as a fellow millennial. Thank you so much. Keep on learning the truth. Keep on doing all that. So we have a whole litany of stories to get to tonight. What else? Okay, so I had a couple other things I wanted to hit on. Oh, yeah, like I said, Elf Yourself from Lori D. She sent it out everywhere. It's on the Mojo fan page on Facebook. Go look at it. It's hilarious. You'll love it. It's great. It's got all the guys on there. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for that. Okay. Merry Christmas, guys. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I did. My family did. We had a lot of fun times. So much so that I'm, still sort of celebrating. That's delicious. All right. Okay. So, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's at it again, guys. I tell you what, if there was an award for a Latina Jewess, quote Jewess, she's probably not actually Jewish, but a quote Latina Jewess, who has no freaking clue about anything she says ever, this woman would get it. And she just beats everybody out for that. She is the winner, the number one, the head honcho. At least she's not a number two. All right, so here's her tweet, which is why everything is going on today. Merry Christmas, everyone. Here's to a holiday filled with happiness, family, love for all people, including refugee babies in mangers and their parents. There was a reply, which I want to get to before I actually go into the little story, because there was a reply from a guy that commented back at her, and then there was an actual article written about this over at the Daily Wire. Here's the here's the reply from Neil. Good job, Neil. Quote, "Are you serious? Saying that baby Jesus was a refugee? You blithering idiot! Mary and Joseph were off registering for the census so they could be taxed." God, you're amazing. I love the use of it's GAWD, so it's not saying the Lord's name in vain or anything like that. It's God, and it is great. It is the best response to it. You see, she is one of those folks that no matter what, she is going to claim that she is a genius. She is intelligent. She went to college. She is a smart person. But what does the Bible have to say about that? I don't know. Well, let's look at Romans 1:22. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him. But they became futile in their thinking and darkened in their thoughts and in their foolish hearts. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged glory of the immortal God for images of mortal man, birds, animals, and reptiles. This woman is a fool who claims wisdom. She is a moron that for some reason the people of New York elected. Probably because the other folks that were on the ballot were all criminals, and she just doesn't have a record yet. That's the best I got. I mean, that's the only real explanation I have. But this is from the Daily Wire. Just a quick little overview. This is an op-ed. It's from Michael Knowles, who I will be having on the show in the next month and a half, somewhere around there. His schedule fills up really quickly. I was hoping to get it next month, but apparently February is now the date. Anyway, this is from the article. The frequently wrong but never in doubt Congresswoman-elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez marked Christmas Day by declaring Jesus a refugee baby in a tweet that went viral among the historically illiterate. Ocasio's comments regurgitates a popular leftist canard. Yes, he said canard. Of recent years that equates the Holy Family with Latin American and Muslim migrants crossing illegally into the United States and Europe, respectively, because Jesus, Mary, and Joseph fled the massacre of the innocents in Judea for Egypt. The flaws in the leftist argument is that in the time of the Holy Family's voyage, neither Judea or Egypt were independent nations, but rather provinces of Rome. So they were all in the same province. It was basically going from one state to another. It seems ironic that Ocasio who today waxed philosophic about the alleged Israeli occupation of Palestine, should forget the actual Roman occupation of Judea. But then again, Ocasio admits she's no expert. You see, when it comes to somebody, when you're going to say something, I don't care what it is. When you're going to say something about a historical event or about a popular person or about somebody that most people have a basic understanding of, you should know your facts. Jesus was not a refugee at all. In fact, if you read Luke, it tells you flat out that his parents went to Bethlehem because they were being counted for a census to gather taxes. Taxes. That means they were paying taxes. So they couldn't have been illegal. They couldn't have been refugees. They went from one state where there was a ton of violence going on to another state that was both controlled by the same government, and then they went back to the other state of their origin because they were told they had to be counted. They had to count all of the heads of the families so that they knew how to tax them and how to tax their clans and their colonies and everything else. It's not rocket science. It spells it out in Luke. It's right there. It's easy to see. You moron. It's about as easy to see as something like going to SaveYourHeart.com. I mean, really, think about it. The Pauling's Therapy Essential Formula is there to help fix and regulate your heart. The one muscle that controls the one organ that controls your entire body. What better way to do that than to, I don't know, help clean out the arteries, make sure they don't get hardened by all the extra pressure and everything else from your daily basis. Why not have something that gives you the all the essential nutrients that your body needs that you're missing in your diet back into you? And how about this? If you go there, you go to SaveYourHeart.com, you use the promo code MOJO, you get 10% off. And not only do you get 10% off, but for 6 months, if you try their product for 6 months, they will refund, and you see no benefit at all. They will refund your money like that. Go to SaveYourHeart.com, use the promo code MOJO, get 10% off. Go. Fix your heart. Make it better. Make it work. Oh, was I correct, Donna? It is a muscle? Well, it's a muscle and organ. I mean, it's we consider it an organ as well. So I'm not a doctor. Who knew, right? Okay, so speaking of the Holy Land, there's other news that happened today. In Israel, the government has announced that, quote, if it's too difficult to pass laws, we need elections. This came from Netanyahu. And so basically what's happened is the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, has said that the coalition heads unanimously agreed to hold an election on April 9th, adding that he wanted the current coalition to form a nucleus government for the next government. The Prime Minister called that Israeli voters go give the government a clear mandate to continue governing on its current path. The reason why I'm going all this is because he just dissolved the Knesset. You know, kind of like our Congress. So the ruling party in Israel just dissolved the Knesset. The Knesset is gone as of today. They are no more. They cease to be. If you guys get that, more power to you. And so they're going to hold another election for all of those representatives in the Knesset come April 9th. And why? Because they can't pass any laws for proper, necessary things. to keep going. See, that, folks, that's not really, I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's like a representative government that also has a dictator. I'm not really sure if it's a good thing for what they did or a bad thing, given the fact that, we generally trust Netanyahu. He's been their prime minister for quite a while. I mean, since the early 2000s, he's been prime minister. He was also prime minister in the 90s as well. If he gets elected again this April, then that'll be the longest. That'll be the most times consecutively elected in Israel ever for a prime minister. And so that means obviously that the people like him enough, and he's well trusted and deserves trust for most things. But you shouldn't just dissolve your legal bodies. I mean, that's not a good idea in general. I mean, maybe we should vote on things and stuff like that. But I mean, to have the power to just say, you know what, Knesset, gone. You know what, Senate, gone. No, it's bad. It's not a good thing. Shouldn't do it. But I understand. I understand why you don't do it. I understand. It's okay. Speaking of understanding, a judge just recently had ordered North Korea to pay more than $500 million in the death of the U.S. student Otto Warmbier. Remember Otto, guys? Remember Otto? Yeah, long time no see. But mainly because he's dead, and that North Korea just dropped him on the United States doorfront, like basically bruised and battered and broken, and said that, that was, we didn't do that. That was not us. But anyway, a federal judge on Monday ordered North Korea to pay more than $500 million in a wrongful death suit filed by the parents of Otto Warmbier, an American college student who died shortly after being released from that country. The U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell harshly condemned North Korea for its barbaric mistreatment of Warmbier, and agreeing with the parents that the isolated nation should be held liable for the death last year. She awarded punitive damages and payments covering medical expenses, economic loss, and pain and suffering to the family of Otto Warmbier, who alleged that their son had been held hostage and tortured. Of course, it's not just alleged. We know it to be fact. I could go on with this entire story, but we have so many other things that I want to get to. And here's the thing that I wanted to point out about this story. North Korea doesn't have to do it. We don't have a district court judge, even federal district court judge, has no jurisdiction on what North Korea will and will not do. It's only out of the goodness of their heart and the graciousness of their economic system would they even care to think about maybe doing this. And given the fact that 90% of their populace is like, I don't know, the poorest of the poor in the world, and they're starving to death, I don't think they really have the money or the generosity available to them to pay the $500 million. So where's the $500 million coming from, guys? Where's it coming from? I don't know. And I don't think this judge knows. Kim Jong-un has to borrow food from other countries to survive. Kim Jong-un had to literally break down and allow South Korea to come in to fix their railroad system because because it's in such poor state of disarray. Yes, he is shaking hands with South Korea. Yes, he is, for all intents and purposes, he looks like he is actually doing good and following some good steps. But U.S. District Court federal judge, do you really think you have any power or say over a despot in another country. Because if you do, you've got another thing coming to you. Now, do I hope that they get their money and that everything goes through? Yes. Do I hope that there's some sort of penalty? Yes. There was, by the way. There was political penalties for him doing those things. And it almost got very sour at the end when things happened. But I digress. Trump decided that he didn't want to do those things, so it didn't happen that way. Thankfully for all of us, because none of us want to restart the Korean War. None of us. None of us. So in other news, actually, you know what? Before other news, one of the things that we need to get to is Charity Magnets. You know why? Because Charity Magnets is a freaking awesome company. They design and produce beautiful, high-quality products for enforcement officers, supporters, and enthusiasts. Not only that, but they have a huge community. It includes law enforcement, the families of those people, the first responders, corrections officers, members of the military, private citizens dedicated to honor, integrity, and helping others in their times of need. Now, for every sale that they have, a donation goes to Cops for Kids with Cancer, which that organization by itself has donated $2.5 million to cancer research and donations. Go to charitymagnets.com. Go to charitymagnets.com. Tell them that Mojo sent you. Go use the coupon code MOJO. You get $5 off of any purchase. They don't just have magnets. They have keychains. They've got hats. They've got everything that you would want to show that you support police and police officers and their families. Go to charitymagnets.com. charitymagnets.com. Promo code MOJO. $5 off. So an 8-year-old migrant boy dies in government custody in New Mexico hospitals. I'm going to call foul. I'm calling a timeout. I need a red card. I got a bell here that works. Red card, foul on the play. That is a bad headline, because it's all technically correct. 8-year-old migrant boy, correct. He dies while in the government's care. Yes, technically, because he was at the hospital, in a New Mexico hospital. Yes, all of those are correct. But does it really get to the point? No, it doesn't. A father dragged his child from where they were to the U.S.-Mexico border on the Texas side. The child was sick. When they came over, they processed him as quickly as they possibly could so that they could get the kid to a hospital. When they got to the hospital, he was diagnosed with what they thought was a common cold and a fever. Nothing too bad. They gave him medicine for it, ibuprofen, antibiotics, and things like that. And after they sent him back to his dad, who was still in, they were both still in holding. He began vomiting profusely, and he was transferred to another hospital. And before they could even get to the initial stages of trying to figure out what was wrong with him, the child passed away. You can't blame the government and protective services for this kid's death. Just like you can't blame blame services for the 7-year-old that died a week ago. You can't do that. How much pressure are you putting on these people? These guys are trying to do everything they can to be as humane as possible as they're dealing with the crisis of people literally throwing crap at them to try and hurt them and kill them. Would he have died sooner if he had not been dragged through the trip? Actually, you know what? The funny thing is, in Mexico, they just hand out pharmaceutical drugs basically for free. So I'm guessing that the father could have gotten the drugs. either really cheap or pretty much for free if he'd gone to a doctor in Mexico. And the kid would probably have been fine. But, you know, the extra days and miles and everything else, probably not so good on the child that was sick. So this has prompted CBP to have new orders. They order medical exams for all migrant children that are in federal custody. Basically, every child that the government brings across the border has to have a full medical exam. I'm not just talking, you know, turn your head and cough. I'm talking, you know, they check your eyes, they check your ears, they check your mouth, they check your nose, they can run you through a scanner, they verify everything, they make sure you do a blood test, a pee test, everything that costs, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars here for us on a regular basis. They're going to do that for every single child now on the border. CBP officials told reporters on Wednesday in a background phone briefing that it is considering options from other government agencies to help and increase the need of medical services for young immigrants who have been detained. Officials from the Department of Homeland Security and CBP, which, by the way, you guys can get rid of Department of Homeland Security. We don't need them anymore. We didn't need them to begin with. It was a bad idea. Get rid of them. We don't need them. Assistance may be provided by the U.S. Coast Guard and Department of Defense and the Federal Emergency Management Agencies and the Department of Health and Human Services, according to the report. The CBP has also asked the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, you know, the same people that say that there is possibly going to be a zombie outbreak and an apocalypse, those people, and the same people that also tell you that lettuce is good and then tell you that you can't eat lettuce anymore because it's got, you know, diseases or something. CBP has also asked the US CDC to investigate causes for the recent incident, increased illnesses among the migrants at the border. I know. They're being told they're going to get free health care when they come to the border. That's why. They think they can sneak across into America and they can get free health care. No, you can't. You can't get free health care. Jesus wasn't an immigrant. You can't get free health care. What we need to do is we need to stop telling these people that it's okay to come to the border. What we need to do is we need to actually get serious about this mess. And on that, I'm going to leave it right there. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Hold on tight, folks. And just like that, we're in a commercial break. Don't you love commercial breaks? I don't. So, you know, I'm going to talk to you guys while the commercial break is going on. You know what hasn't been recalled? Chocolate. That's correct, Donna. You know what else hasn't been recalled? Bacon. Bacon has not been recalled. Chocolate-covered bacon. The one thing they will never recall. Ever, ever, ever. There's no listeria on bacon. Can't get sick from fried bacon. Or chocolate. Ooh, man, I want some chocolate-covered bacon now. You also can't get sick off of this if you drink it slowly. It's very good, by the way. Knobs Creek, smoky maple, dirty. Because you know. Oh, Elijah, Representative-elect Ocasio-Cortez can't do math and doesn't do definitions. Apparently, if you go from Dallas to Fort Worth to fill out IRS paperwork, you are a refugee. Yes, that's basically correct, Elijah. That's spot on, man. Good job. Good job. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. Let me see here. You guys are on point tonight. Love it. Love it. Keep it coming, please. Keep it coming. Let's see here. Okay. Show's going to start here in the next 20 seconds, 15 seconds, 15 seconds. So hold on tight, folks. Hold on tight. And we're back. You're listening to the Defenders of American Exceptionalism. We're live on Mojo 50. Mojo 50 Radio. You can find us on iHeartRadio. You can also find us on mojo.com. Go to the web stream there. You can also find us on our website, doaeshow.com. You can find great listings there. Also wonderful shirts, items, and things that you know that you want to have. Coffee mugs, bags, etc., etc., etc. Go there. Check it out. And if you ask nicely, I might give you a promo code for that too. DM me. Speaking of, before we go any further, I want to talk to you about some things that are close to my heart. And by close to my heart, I mean guns. Because there's this wonderful company that we work with called called Tar River Arms, and they have a website, traguns.com, traguns.com. They are America's first virtual gun store. I just want to see what they have right now. You can actually go there, and you can find pretty much anything that you would want, and you can take a look at everything. They have a full three-dimensional view fronts. You can zoom in. You can go through everything. And oh my goodness, is it amazing. I mean, right now, I'm just going to list off a couple things. They have, baby. Look at this. Springfield Armory Saints 5.56 pistol, Romeo 5, and a Magpul angle sights for $989. Normally $1,200. You can get a Keltec PMR 30 black. It's a 22 pistol for $425. Oh man, I kind of like Keltec too. You can get a Sig Sauer P938 Nightmare Micro Compact right now. It's a 9mm pistol for $535. It's normally $815. Go check it out. traguns.com. It's Tar River Arms, so it's traguns.com. Go find them there. Tell them Mojo sent you. Great guns, great prices, and a great service. It's veteran-owned and operated. You can use .org too, but it's .com. It's .com. I just tried it. I was there. .com, .org, all those things. I think he bought all of them up. You know, it's okay. It's okay if you want a .org. It's fine. It's not a big deal. So Donald Trump has... Jim Mattis is leaving. Boo. Jim Mattis is leaving. Mainly over a couple things. Sorry, what? Do they still have the sexy little turquoise white Kimber ladies model? I don't know. I didn't go that far down. Anyway. Jim Mattis, Trump says Jim Mattis will leave by January 1st and announces acting defense secretary. His replacement is going to be Deputy Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan. I have no idea who that is. Quote, Patrick has a long list of accomplishments while serving as deputy and previously Boeing. He will be great. Exclamation point. That's from Trump. Trump had previously announced that Mattis would retire by the end of February. Mattis resigned Thursday over objections to the president's policy following the Trump's decision to withdraw American troops out of Syria. I completely agree, even though I want those guys home. I still don't believe it's a good idea to pull out. Shanahan was confirmed by Congress as Deputy Secretary of Defense in July of 2017. He has essentially served as Chief Operating Officer for the Pentagon, as NPR reported in May. The former Boeing executive told NPR's Steve Inskeep that new technologies will shape the future of war. The investments in weapon systems is long-term. Basically, what he's talking about here is it's going to be drone fighting. Unmanned. Everything's going to be unmanned. No guy in the wind, no guy in the breeze. You're just going to fly these little planes and shoot people out of the air with these little things with giant rockets attached to them, which is fine. I'm good with that because that means less casualties on our part. But at the same point in time, if you haven't initiated that completely yet, you still need to have a fighting force there to make sure that people understand that you are still there. Plus, that also means that you aren't actually pulling out. That means you're sticking it in further and keeping it there longer and possibly even driving it forward. I'm just saying, not a big thing, but you might want to look into that. Anyway, so this caught my eye as I was reading it the other day. I was at work and reading stories and going through the list of things going through. So this is from December 24th, 2018. Here's the headline. A couple fed an infant daughter a strictly restricted vegan diet, and the child now has rickets. You see, a couple who fed their daughter a restricted vegan diet has admitted causing her serious injury after the girl developed rickets. The parents, 32 and 34, who cannot be named for legal reasons, fed their daughter oats and rice milk for breakfast, but she was a, quote, fussy eater. She might sometimes have the same for dinner, a court heard. The girl, developed rickets, a degenerative bone disease caused by malnutrition as a result of diet, the court was told. She and her two older brothers, 4 and 6, are now in foster care. Her parents from Sydney, Australia, pleaded guilty to failing to provide for a child and causing serious injury after the girl was admitted to the hospital in March. The mother told the hospital dietitian that her entire family followed a vegan diet and that her daughter would generally have 1 cup of oats with rice milk and half a banana in the morning. She said she would give her a piece of toast with jam and peanut butter for lunch. And as for dinner, she said her daughter was offered tofu, rice, or potatoes. But as a fussy eater, the girl might just have oats again because, she liked the oats. It was no big deal for her. Doctors said that the diet meant that the girl had been had severe nutrient deficiencies, including a lack of calcium, phosphate, vitamin B12, vitamin A, iron, and zinc. Her levels of vitamin D, which can cause bone disease if found to be too low, were literally undetectable. Her bones were so brittle that the doctors believed they could have been broken by just normal handling. Just picking her up could have broken her bones. And she was found to have fractures all throughout her very tiny body. That might be one of the reasons why she's fussy. Maybe. Maybe the kid's fussy, not because she doesn't want the food, but because she hurts. You moron. The child couldn't even sit up. She was floppy. At 1 year old, the child was floppy. She could not hold herself up. She could not sit. She could not crawl. She did not talk. She was a 1-year-old playing doll by all standards. This is what veganism does to you. This is what it does to our children. This is why we need to eat meat. We are omnivore. We should be eating meat. There are certain things, vitamins, nutrients, proteins, strands that your body needs on a daily basis for you to be strong enough to live your life. If you do not allow that, because we're strictly vegan here, we don't eat any of that meat or like that processed stuff or anything from an animal at all. We don't do any of that because we're trying to be good to the environment. You're eating my food's food. Shut up. Stop it. You deserve all the rage and hatred that you get. Your children should be taken from you because you did not do what you were supposed to do as a parent. You did not understand that these kids need something more than veganism, a fad that you wanted to do because you're already grown up and most likely you're supplementing yourself. But these kids can't have some of those supplements, can they? No, they can't. That's right, Nicole. There is this thing called protein. Yeah, the kids could not have anything from an animal at all. That means no honey. That means no milks of any kind. They had to have rice milks or soy milk or coconut milk, it's just the water, the juice from it. And a rice milk is actually just like a starch. I mean, come on. It's starch water. That's all it is. It's starchy water. Stop it. It's not milk. It's starch water with some flavoring. I mean, you can't... Anyway. Over to Morocco, where suspects were arrested in murders of multiple Scandinavian tourists. And these people were also... The people arrested and suspected were also pledges of ISIS. So, I mean, that's good, right? Yeah. No, probably not. Copenhagen, Denmark. Authorities arrested 3 more suspects Thursday in a death of 2 Scandinavian university students who were killed in Morocco's Atlas Mountains. The Moroccan authorities said that the men detained were in Marrakech and had a fourth suspect pledge allegiance. Wow. Pledge allegiance to ISIS in a video before the killing. The victims, identified as a 24-year-old Louisa Vestager Jespersen. That's right. Yeah, said that like a native. You know it. From Denmark, and a 28-year-old Maren Uland of Norway went to college together. The CBS News reported their bodies were found by other tourists in a remote region where they were camping. They had multiple stab wounds across their entire bodies and their necks. So, small bands of ISIS are in Morocco. What does that tell you about ISIS? It's not dead. We're still fighting it. It's still alive. ISIS is more of an idea than it is anything else. You can't stop an idea without stopping one. Well, first of all, you have to stop its source, and then you have to stop whatever's perpetrating the idea. And we can't do that because we're too politically correct. We're too PC. We can, as a country, we can stop Christianity every left and right and everything else, but we can't go and look at the culprits of something like an ISIS attack. We can't say, well, this religion is the basis of what they use to set up their ideology. And maybe there's something in the religion that twists them into this. Or maybe there's people in that religion that twist them to this. And there is. They are called imams. In many cases, there are some very good imams out there that want to reform, the idea of Islam and being a Muslim. But there are many more that don't. They like the traditional ways. They like the stonings. They like the paying taxes, the jizya. They like killing. They like telling people that you should go and sacrifice. They like the whole, quote, 72 virgins, which actually isn't 72 virgins. It's just, unaccounted virgins. It's virgins of a very large number. when you die for your holy works and that sort of thing. So it's like, a heavenly host, or it's like when Jesus says, how many times should we forgive somebody? And he said 70 times, 7 times, 70 times, it was continuously. It was all the time. You should all the time, infinitely. You should not count it. And so their idea of, heaven is basically a never-ending amount of virgins coming their way if they die in the holy war, which I'm pretty sure they're going to get screwed on that one. Probably right up the butt. Islam, well, yeah, it is both. It is both a religion and it is a political theory. The fact that, a quarter of the world believes it, or more than a quarter, I think it's half the world believes it, and not half of the world is under the political version of Islam. It goes to show that there are two sects of Islam. There's the political version, where basically it's the hierarchy and the religion running a government, and then there's just the religion that runs you as a person. And so there is those two factions in that, basically. But at the same point in time, you're basically right. It is basically one thing. I can't really disagree with you on that. In other news, Amazon customer receives 1,700 audio files from somebody who they didn't know, but who used Alexa. See, when an Amazon customer in Germany contacted the company to review his archive data, he wasn't expecting to receive recordings. He definitely wasn't expecting to receive recordings of a random stranger that he had no idea of. You see, the man requested to review his data in August under a European Union data protection law, according to the German trade magazine called CT. Amazon sent him a downloaded link to track searches and or websites, and 1,700 audio recordings. Quote, I was very surprised about this because I don't use Amazon Alexa, let alone have an Alexa-enabled device. The customer was not named, told the magazine. So I randomly listened to some of these audio files and could not recognize any of the voices. The recipient of the files saved and later shared them with a publication which reviewed the recordings, and suddenly we found ourselves, this is a quote now, we found ourselves in an intimate sphere of a stranger without their knowledge. So it goes on to describe, different sounds and different things going on, talking and everything else, and certain commands and all that jazz and going through. But what this goes to show is that, every command that you put into your Alexa device, or that gets put into your Alexa device by, crazy people on the radio when they say, hey, Alexa, search blue waffle. Yes. Exactly. When somebody does that, and it screws up everybody else's Alexas, it makes them search blue waffles, which, by the way, you should never do. Never search it. I still haven't, and I'm really glad that I haven't. I don't want to know what a blue waffle is. But by the absurd reactions that I've seen from Brad and the other guys, I don't want to know. I don't want it. Not at all. But it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter what's going on. These people are going to do everything they can to collect your information and keep it. But you know what? It's fine. Because we have something better. We have the Right On Game. That's right. We've got the Right On Game. And if you go to rightongame.com, use the promo code MOJO50, you can get 10% off on you can get a 10% off discount on whatever you buy from there. Now, if you go there, you buy the game. The reason why you buy the game is because it is hilarious. It is great fun, and it makes fun of the left. Because mocking the left, it just feels right. If you go to rightongame.com, you order it, and maybe you get some express shipping because you want to do this very soon, because now, until the 2nd, I believe, it's now until the 2nd, you can upload a video of yourself playing the game with your family. The best video picked by the owners of Right On Game, the best video gets an Amazon Echo Show, Hey Alexa, plus an Amazon gift card for $25. Now, the contest runs from the December 22nd to January 2nd. Get your games now. Get the video in. That's rightongame.com. Use the promo code Mojo. Get 10% off. Rightongame.com. Promo code Mojo50. 10% off. That's right. All right. Couple quick stories before we go. I do want to end on a kind of a happier note because, I mean, you know, tons of stories, but some of it was kind of a downer. So I wanted to bring this story to you. Did you guys even know that somebody created a floating garbage collector in the Pacific Ocean? He created a boat that was specifically designed to go collect the garbage in the ocean. You see, a crew of engineers in the middle of the ocean will try to fix a device that was intended to clear the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. You know, the thing that doesn't exist. Where an estimated 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic have coalesced in a field of debris twice the size of Texas that doesn't exist. The garbage catcher has been floating in the Pacific since its highly anticipated launch in San Francisco in September, but it has yet to produce the results anticipated. You see, the inventor, a 24-year-old Boyan Slat. Wow. Your name, dude. So many things could go wrong with that name. Anyway, told the Associated Press the solar-powered barrier hasn't collected any loads of trash. 0. Because it moves more slowly than the plastic it's trying to capture. Which, by the way, if there was a giant barge of plastic in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, it would only go the speed of the waves. Whatever current it is on will be the speed at which it goes. So if you can go faster than a wave, whatever wave it is, whatever current is currently in the thing, if you can push a little bit of extra power, you should be able to go faster than it. So it's a lie. Quote, which of course you don't want, because then you have no chance, then you have a chance of losing the plastic again. But it's a giant floating piece of plastic. You can't lose it. I mean, it's twice the size of Texas. How are you going to lose it? Quote, we're trying to speed up the system just enough that it will always constantly go faster than the plastic, which is what we need. Slat and his team said that they had anticipated running into issues like this. Oh, so you knew that this might be an issue, or you knew that this wasn't a real thing, so you somehow tricked the people in San Francisco to help you build a giant boat that does absolutely nothing, and you're just floating in the middle of the ocean right now. Quote, what we're trying to do has never been done. So, of course, we were expecting to still need to fix a few things before it became fully operational. I mean, it's not like we put science behind this. I'm just a guy with a dream. I mean, I didn't put any real effort into any of this. I'm just floating on the ocean, man, in a solar-powered barge. Humans deposit more than $8 trillion. Oh, God. Oh, come on. Stop it. That's enough. I'm done with this. That is enough. No, not going to spew that nasty garbage of fakery and falsehoods and nastiness. So lying liar that lies. Quote, so if you want to clean up the ocean, Leonard says, it may in fact be that the open ocean is not the place to look. Because usually stuff doesn't collect in the middle of the open ocean. Usually it collects on the shore where there's land for it to catch on and group together in. I mean, maybe near the coral reef where it gets attached to a piece of rock and then something else attaches to it and then something else. Maybe. But you're literally out in the middle of nowhere. Out in the middle of nothing. And complaining that you can't pick up any trash because you can't run fast enough to catch it. No. I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. Anyway, so, last story. Wanted to get to this before we actually clear it out. Happy story to end the night on some ho-ho-hos and some Merry Christmases and some nice family goodness. You see, a family found a hidden Christmas surprise in a baby food package. Now, that does sound weird, but listen. Quote, a quick trip to the grocery store for a baby food turned into an unexpected blessing for a Utah family over the weekend. For the family arrived home from the store in Sunsets, Utah on Saturday. She removed the lid from the package of the baby snacks and that she had purchased for her 8-month-old daughter that she found a surprise from a good Samaritan. Quote, I'm just like, hey, Caleb, there's a piece of paper that fell out of here. The mother of 5 recounted. Quote, and he's like, well, was it a coupon? And he comes over. No, there's money in it. The note, along with $30, fell from between the plastic lid and the package seal. Kay explained in the news station. You know, those, they're not really see-through anymore. They're mostly opaque package cover. So, yeah, okay. All right, sure. The note read, Merry Christmas. While in a very tight situation last Christmas, some very generous stranger helped us in a similar way. Now we are overjoyed to help you. Merry Christmas. Congratulations on this exciting time in your life. We certainly have been here and know how challenging and wonderful this time of life can be and hope you feel our love. Merry Christmas. From friends. If you could, if I could move in closer, you could see the one tear coming down my cheek. It's very touching. Anyway, folks, Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys Saturday. It's gonna be a wonderful time. I'll be back right after New Year's too, so don't miss out. Don't be so hungover that you can't come back and see me now. Anyway, go check out our website, dyaushow.com. Go check out some of the great stuff, some mugs and cups and everything else. Go to Mojo50. Go to iHeartRadio, download it, get the Mojo50 stream there. Find it all on there. Have a good night, folks. Bye-bye.